Plastic pollution is a way bigger problem than plastic straw encrusted in the total nostrils. The real plastic problem is way bigger than that, and thanks to scientists, we have now bioplastic as an alternative to petroleum-based conventional plastics. So, is bioplastic here to save the earth? We are about to know. In this video, I want to tell you the myth of bioplastics and biodegradable, drawbacks of bioplastics, what is oxo-degradable plastics, and the fifth, how you can fundamentally help in reducing plastic pollutions. Hi, welcome to Fearless Passport. This channel is about global social issues and travel perspectives like Chinese eating dogs, overpopulations, and also environmental sustainability. So if you are interested in this kind of topic, make sure you hit the subscribe button below and turn on the notification bell. So what is the myth of bioplastics and biodegradable? It is incorrect to assume bioplastics are all made from plant, and it is also incorrect to assume all bioplastics are biodegradable. The term bio means there's involvement of biological matter. Bioplastic means it's a plastic coming in from enzyme, plant-based, crab shell, fish bone, pineapple fibers, coffee or paddy husks, wood and bamboo, etc. Any kind of plastics that use components of living organisms can be technically known as bioplastics or bio-based plastics. The truth is, industries might add certain chemical additives to these bioplastics to have different properties such as durability, flexibility, or colors. And with these additives, the end product might not be able to degrade. But as long as biological matter took part in the production, industries can market this product as bioplastics. And very often the term bio misleads people to associate bioplastics always break down completely in the environment. Not all bio-based plastics are biodegradable, and not all biodegradable plastics are bio-based. Are you confused right now? Don't worry, let's look at this chart. So we already know that conventional fossil-based plastic will never degrade. And to my surprise, while researching this topic, if I didn't read more about bioplastic, I would never know that there's fossil fuel-based plastics that can biodegrade, such as PBAT, or known as polybutyrate adipate terephthalate, used to substitute LDPE and HDPE, PBS, or known as polybutylene succinate, used as black sheets on agricultural soil to retain moisture. It can also replace polypropylene. PCl, known as polycaprolactone, is another example of biodegradable fossil-based polymers. This fossil fuel base has different, or we can say weaker chemical structures, therefore able to biodegrade with the help of microbes. On the other hand, bio-based plastic doesn't necessarily biodegrade. For example, BioPET has adopted by Coca-Cola in their plant bottle technology, where the PET has been made from bio-based monoethylene glycol. It is from sugarcane. However, because it is chemically identical to fossil-based PET, it is not biodegradable. So when you look at the first quadrant, do you think PLA and PHA is the ultimate solution for our plastic problems? Let's find out. So what is PLA? PLA, or commonly known as polylactic acid, is a synthetic polymer derived from fermented plant carbohydrates such as corn, potato, and sugarcane. The building block is either lactic acids or lactide monomer, which later polymerize into PLA. So PLA is transparent and approved for food contact, so therefore it is commonly made into single-use disposable cutleries, cups, and also 3D printing materials. So when it burns, PLA does not emit toxic fumes to the environment. Sounds like a perfect solution, right? But what is the problem with PLA plastics? The first problem is PLA is not biodegradable. It is in fact compostable. That is another misconception. Compostable is always biodegradable, but biodegradable is always not compostable. Because PLA is synthetically made polymers, so technically there is no microbes or bacteria in nature that can consume this PLA. While there is no living organism involved in PLA degradations, PLA can only be broken down to carbon dioxide and water under specific conditions of industrial composting or recycling facilities. Temperature has to be 55 to 70 degrees Celsius, retention time approximately 90 days under controlled humidity. So if PLA is not properly managed, its behavior is the same like any other conventional plastic bags, which will never degrade or perhaps one day further broken down into microplastics. And that leads to my second point. How many industrial composters is operating in your country, and out of the very limited composting facilities, majority of them do not process bioplastics because of two reasons. Not all certified compostable items will actually compose or break down as fully and quickly in a batch reactor. And second, contamination happens and increase the operating costs. At the same time, degrade the quality of the products, and when compost products cannot be sold in a good price, it's making the business more difficult than it already is. According to what I have summarized, there is only 4,713 industry composters in the US, and according to Science Journal Biocycle, there is only 100 full-scale compost sites that can process and accept compostable products. And in where I live in Malaysia, we don't have any industry composters. We have only landfills. And the third drawbacks with PLA plastics or compostable plastics is the competition of raw material with food source. To make 1 kg of PLA, 2.65 of corn is required. With the world rising populations, if we switch to bioplastics, the field for food will have to compete for those for plastics. And even out of this misery, have you heard of Oxo-degradable plastics? Oxo-degradable plastics is widely used as an alternative to grocery bags. And to be honest, if I didn't went out and read infos about bioplastics, I always assumed that Oxo-degradable plastics is the green solutions. It's a solution for all conventional plastics. But the sad thing is, Oxo-degradable plastics are conventional plastics like PE, mixed with additives or metal salts to imitate biodegradations. Under sunlight or exposed to oxidizing conditions, Oxo-degradable plastics quickly fragments into smaller pieces of microplastics. Oxo-degradable is strictly nothing with living organisms involved in its degradations, so therefore it is not biodegradable. According to a report by the United Nations Environment Programme, UNEP, oxo-degradable plastic haven't proven that they truly break down to molecular or polymer level. In this case, small fragments of oxo-degradable plastic might further worsen the microplastic pollution. So up to this stage, we already learned that all types of bioplastics are not viable in resolving our plastic problems. On many aspects, bioplastic indeed has less carbon footprint compared to petroleum-derived polymers. However, there is just too many drawbacks that we cannot ignore. So here's what you can do to fundamentally reduce plastic pollution. Number 1. Purchase items in bulk. According to our Worlds in Data, packaging sector is a dominated producer of plastic products, and because plastic packaging are in use for a very short lifetime, it is exactly the same sector that generates most plastic waste. So instead of buying single-serving ice cream, tiny packages of vegetables or nuts, consider the product to packaging ratio of items. Select a larger container of packaging instead. And this is one of the alternatives in reducing our plastic usage, especially on products over packaging. And secondly, should you inevitably have to use plastic, please opt for the compostable one with the following labels. But here's a catch. Plastic certified with these labels are only safe if they end up in an industrial composters that can process them. Except for this label, it means home composting can degrade their plastics. So for Malaysian, please identify plastic with the Serum Eco label, and the biodegradable words means compostable to be exact. So apart from this, there's another bigger problem. We don't have any industrial composters that can process the bioplastics. What can we do? Sign a petition to urge better governmental policies and put pressures on manufacturers. Though individually we can make a difference through our habits, politicians and corporations, obviously they can make a larger impact. Like government can provide tax incentives or exemptions for industries that has, say, 10% of plastic reduction consumption. Alternatively, match with different industries in researching a more sustainable packaging. So personally, I have created a petition to build a centralized industrial composters in Malaysia. If you are Malaysian like me and you care about the overusage of plastics in our community, please support me by signing the petition. I'll put the link in the description below, and make sure you sign and share it to friends. By far, we haven't mentioned PHA, which is polyhydroxyalkanoids plastics. It is 100% biodegradable and bio-based, but PHA usage is still very limited due to the high production costs. We will discuss PHA in our next video. My next video will be talking about dog eating. I know this kind of topic has been debated long enough, and a lot of people has been against of the idea of eating dog meat, but I would like to provide a different perspective from my own view. So if you didn't want to miss this kind of video, make sure you hit the subscribe and turn on that notification bell, and I'll see you next time. Remember, be always proud of yourself and be your own biggest fans. Bye!